I know a lot of you love men older than you, right? And not all men are like this. Not all men will give you the situation or carry through experiences like Stacey's. But remember, and everything that glitters is gold, because you see that he had money. He took her from her home to give her a better life overseas. But what happened? She lived the worst life that she pretty much could have experienced. And so it's a story that not everything that you see looking green on the other side is really greener. And at 16, you left and you went over to England.
Yes.
Right? And you found out that you were pregnant at age
16, I got
16 to 17. So
Yeah.
you didn't even have a full year yet.
Because I found out, no, actually, I found out earlier. So I would have been 17 at the time when I found out. In January, because
Yeah.
my birthday is early January, so I found out when I was 17. Yes.
Teenage pregnancy, and a lot of females they cannot handle that right now, But looking at you, remember we're saying that because we know us as Jamaican men are, we look at a young lady and we say, oh, she brown, nice browning man, she look good, she uptown and she make money and she rich. But what really comes with that? Did you grow up in that type of rich family background?
Not at all. I was born and raised in the inner city community of Southside. And so that's where I lived until I was 13. And my friends can tell you that a lot of days I was at school, we never have no lunch. But I had a good circle of friends where if it is that one person in the, in the crew, never have money that day, you're not hungry. Because if I even want to look at patty and want to look at juice, you're going to get some.
Get something.
But I had the struggles that a lot of people had. But the fact that, but they have like a complexion and they have like they have like a length and they look like, but they kind of mixish and whatever not. I think people automatically assume that I was from some top family or, my family is rich or they come from some rich background or whatever. But that was far from the reality.
Yes.
I was just like many who had struggling parents, who had parents who, you couldn't even find the school fee, can't buy the book them or whatever. I had that struggle too.
Wow.
And it was coming out of that struggle where this man came into the picture, because he came in and he stepped in and he was able to do things for me that, my parents weren't able to do.
Yes.
So, he was paying my school fee. He was providing and ensuring that, I had money to go to school. And, he was basically taking care of the basic needs at that time.
Yes.
So everything looked pretty good, and, he just looked as though, he was this, like God sent,
Yes,
like
yes.
angel, like, just like that. Even my friends used to say to me, like, I'm in a fifth farm, I go Western and I get my little money and thing, Never know what it was for not have lunch money again. What is that? Lunch money?
Everything they look, hey, so, it comes with the pros and the cons, right?
It does.
But teenage pregnancy, what would you say to a person right now, right, who they are currently experiencing teenage pregnancy? You have been through it. What would you say to somebody right now?
Don't listen to the noise. Do not listen to the noise. Like everybody else, I too, I was condemned. I was told basically like, I was a failure and I was going to fail. Even today I made a post on my page which is Stacey Speaks 2021. And pretty much the post was just reiterating some of the things that were said about me once people found out that I was pregnant at 17.
Yes.
And it was hard to deal with because even my father molested me like for months because he would say, you're gonna have a baby and mash up your life, But why do we always seem to think that, having a child as a teenager means that it's the end of the road for you, why is it? I saw it as, the biggest motivational factor for me because it now meant that it wasn't just about me anymore. It was about me making choices and doing things that would benefit myself and my child. Also, once it is that you have ambition, it doesn't matter whether the child came early or came late. Ambition is going to push you to achieve the things that you want to achieve for yourself. Right? So even while I was pregnant, I was still going to college and doing my A levels because what I'd said to myself that I'd gone there and I was going to do something and make something of myself. So even when I was pregnant, I was in college and I was doing my A levels. Right? I never gave up. I never just drop and play dead and say that, look, baby, I gotta come and my life done for whatever. Not. No. So if it is that you know, somehow you get yourself in a little problem and you end up having, a child, an unplanned pregnancy and all of that, it's not the end of the world, right? Just keep your head up, continue pushing. And even if it is that you don't have the support of your family, and so just continue pushing, don't give up on yourself, because sometimes you're all you're going to have. You're not going to have people, and sometimes we're all we need to, because sometimes and every time people go for way, so we just have to believe in ourselves and just know, so look, you know what you want, and if you're passionate about anything, passion drives success. So if it is that you know for a fact that, look, but it's a mega complete this course, mega complete this and whatever, and a pregnancy won't stop that.
Yes.
You're going to actually press on because that is the ambition that you have for yourself.
Yes.
So a child shouldn't change that. A child should actually push you further to want to accomplish it, because they're going to say, look, by furthering yourself, you have to position yourself, because remember now, you're going to be a role model for somebody else.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. Hey, you let out some words, If you're really watching this right now, this is really a time of contemplation. If you're going through that teenage pregnancy right now, everything that Stacey just said, I want you to just listen to it keenly. Take a little time and reflect on all the words she just spoke. Everything, process it. Because she's speaking from experience, and some of you right now, you may have friends that you may look at and you're wondering, boy, I want to experience this life, but I have a child right now, I can't live that way, I have to be an adult before time. So you may look at yourself, you may have low self-esteem because of these things, issues with even having good relationship with others because of this.
And that was hard to, Joe, because, having a child that young, it forces you to grow up, right? So I normally say to people, like, when people were doing regular teenager things and whatever, I had to be a parent.
See there?
And, from early out, I didn't have 100% support from the father. So, it made it even that harder for me. But, I had to press on because what? End of the day, it was based on my decision why the child is here.
Yes.
So
you have to face the repercussions.
Yep. And I have to take responsibility for my actions. I have to hold myself accountable. Right? The child never asked to come here. Me go fast and make him come, right? So I have to hold myself accountable. So if it meant that I can't go hang out and do the things like my friends were doing and all of that, that's fine. I have to suffer the consequences of my choices.
That's right.
And there's nothing wrong with that, because what? They're going to grow up and they grow up pretty fast too, because my son is going to be 20 this year. Like, who would have thought? So, I'm pretty much like, I can live the life where I didn't miss out on noise. It's still there to be lived, It's still the same. It's just that you're going to be doing it later on. And there's nothing wrong with that either.
Yes. And what I love though from this, Stacey, you just let me know that you can have failures in life, but you learn from it.
Oh, yes.
And in all of what took place, you were able to see all the lessons that you needed to take from it.
Oh, yes.
Right? You realize that right now, the best thing that you could have ever done for yourself is to have taken that time out, because what I'm about to find out is how are you managing now, because you're now a single parent and you had such a rough, tough time growing up with him, but you're single now, and well, I'm not saying you're single now because we're gonna get to that part, but you're a single parent and you had that transition where you had to leave from England to come back to Jamaica. right? In that time period, coming to know, how did you handle everything? Did you take the time out to really like say, hey, I need to sit down and go through this healing process? How did you handle that?
All right, so coming back home, I was coming back. Pretty much the relationship was leaving England and it was coming back to Jamaica because, I mean, the house that we would be staying in and all of that was something that was sorted out, by the gentleman. So I was leaving England, but technically I never leave the man. Don't ask me why. But
This is what we call yam head, ground provision, and yes, gone through.
But, it's just one of those things, and people, I don't know why, like, people are ashamed of some of the choices and the decisions that they make, but come on, it's just life, and sometimes you get caught up in the feelings part of it,
Yes.
and you do things out of feelings. So yes, I was leaving England, but I was leaving and coming here to come live with the man again. And even though he had expressed his wish to return to Jamaica, I knew for a fact that he wasn't going to come back. So it came as no surprise once I got back and he said that he wasn't going to stay in Jamaica because, it would be better for him to go back to England, work, and then he can be better able to take care of us here and all of that niceness. And that's fine, right? But, eventually the yam did dig up. And, the yam dig up eventually. and I realized that, come on now, wake up.
Yes.
This is not going anywhere, wake up.
Yes.
I made a clean break. But in making that break, I left the man and the man left, his responsibilities to the child, I think. And I expected that because his thought process was that I was never going to survive without him.
You got that.
Yes, I was not. So he was just there waiting on the opportunity for me to actually come back and say, oh, I'm sorry, I need you, I can't do this without that sort of thing. But that never happened.
Wow.
So it was difficult. It was difficult trying to maneuver as a single parent, and not only that, I had taken on a mortgage and all of that, and it was a very trying time, But at the end of the day, we can't give up, and that's why I said, like, sometimes you have a child and they don't come under the best of circumstances, but you'll realize that they do become your motivation.
Mercy.
Because my son became my everything, so I knew that I had to do whatever was necessary to ensure that he is provided for.
Yes.
And me never want to fail him. My thing is, me go choose a father. So I, under no circumstances, would want to fail my child. I feel as though I was failing my child. And I'm so grateful for the child that he is, because he, despite, even though like sometimes I couldn't do everything that needed to be done in the moment because of the finances, but he never once made me feel as though I was failing him or I wasn't being a good parent,
Yes.
or he was being shortchanged or anything like that. Never do that to me, never ever. Like, if it is that today all I could eat a corned beef and rice, I'm gonna eat the corned beef and rice, I'm not gonna complain.
Yes.
Whatever it is that was there, he was okay with it. And that was very reassuring for me, that encouraged me even more.
Yes.
Because for a child that was willing to, when necessary, adapt, I felt as though I needed to give him everything that he didn't and hadn't asked me for.
Yes.
So definitely my motivation, definitely my driving force, definitely my why for all the things that I do.
No, you see the flip side of all of that, right? So even though the baby came and the baby could have been one of the negative things, it came and the positive came through the baby.
Yes,
So
definitely.
a lot of females, you know, they may have that same experience, you know, and you're one of them.
Care. If
You're
you're
one
a
of
single
them.
parent, I know it's not easy.
Mhm.
It's very difficult, but don't give up on your child.
Never give up.
Do everything that you can for a child. I mean, at one point, I was pawning everything. Ask my friend, she got a friend, me get her one work of jewelry, and she got a pawn store, a foreign, pawn it, and Western Union with the money, because what? But they have all of this jewelry and thing and whatever not, and me have fancy this and that, and me don't know how to build leg up here, how to build leg up here, and I thought, no. So I pawned the stuff, AC, everything. Anything I could have did sell, sell it. You know, when it became necessary to sell my car and downgrade and get something cheaper, sell it too. And you know, that became a discussion because you know you work a certain place and the people themselves, people don't downgrade vehicles,
No, man, upgrade, eh?
upgrade vehicle, and the people themselves move from a 2009 car and gone back. And I think it was a 05 or 06, and it was a car that wasn't even popular. The people themselves never hear about Boon yet. What is a Boon?
Oh, the moon. Oh, yes, I've seen the moon, you know.
Yes, man. But you know, in that moment,
Yes.
me never make it better, because you know what this is. Sometimes we listen to the noise and listen to a lot of what people have to say, and you know we have the things to please people. Please yourself.
Facts.
Please yourself,
A
because
word
here we are.
right there.
At the end of the day, them sit down and them a criticize and whatever not, them no better than we, you know. Sometimes them situation worse, but by highlighting ours, it makes them feel better.
Mighty
You know
God.
about theirs.
Hey, hey, you know, this seems as if we may need to have a part. I don't know if
Part 2, 3, 4, 5.
Yes, man. I mean, yeah, I think if you really need to hear a lot more about this story, it can be uncovered. It's uncovered right here. This book, it has everything that you need to know about this story. Because we can't share everything right now on this channel. It would never end, right? But I want you to just let them know where they can find this book, how they can purchase this
Alright,
book.
so the book is actually available on Amazon. It's $20 US for the paperback, and there's a Kindle version as well for $9.99. If you are here locally, you can actually reach out to me at my IG page, which is Stacey Speaks 2021, or you can send me an email as well at staceyspeaks.net@gmail.com. Locally, the book is $3,000. So link me up and we'll arrange it out and sort out the delivery, right?
Want to hear that, everybody? Yes. So give us support, whether you're local or international, you have an option, right? So just to wrap up, right? You had such a childhood, you know, teenage life, and you had to transition to survival mode, and you got some joy and happiness from having your son, and that in itself gave you a different outlook on life. Now, having all of that experience, you are now able to have a book written about your life. Where do you see yourself right now, and how is life right now for Stacey?
Life is great.
Mm.
You know, my mindset has changed completely. And I focus now on what I have, and I'm content with what I have. Now, a lot of times what causes stress is the fact that we try to focus on what we want and where we want to be, and we're not quite there yet. And because we're not quite there yet, then you know we get worked up about it. But
Yes.
I'm encouraging you to be content where you are. I'm not saying that you're going to get stagnant and not want to move, but if it is that you're working on something and it hasn't materialized yet, be happy with where you are now, you know, until it comes to fruition. Don't get overworked and worked up about it. Don't watch where people are and think that that's where you need to be. We all have our own race that we're running, right? Focus on your lane. It's very clear over there, there's no traffic, right? You alone nail a lane, focus on your lane and focus on the things that you want to achieve, and put plans in place and work towards it. But while you're working on it though, like I said, don't get overworked and worked up about it. Just be accepting that, look, you're working on something and believe that it is coming to fruition, it is materializing. But it's not going to materialize in your time. God's time.
Patience,
Yes.
trust, hope, do your best, and let God do the rest.
Oh, yes.
You know, A lot of time we miss out God.
We
and
do.
A lot of time we want
We
to
do.
push and
We
do
do.
what we feel like to.
I got time.
Remember.
Got time. Remember, the divine design of our lives that don't do already,
Long time.
It is just about when things are going to unfold.
Yes.
When each chapter are going to come and come to fruition.
Indeed.
So, with that being said, be at peace. Just
Be at
enjoy
peace.
life. Be very accepting of everything that is happening in your life as well too. Because that's another thing when we're in denial. Accept the things that has happened in your life so that you can move on and be free. Right? Don't make it all in a prisoner. And another thing I want to share you guys, work on being mentally fit. We focus so much on physical fitness and we got gym and we want six pack and we want this and that, but mentally we're weak. So we have to put the same effort that we put into being physically fit, we need to put into being mentally fit. And a part of being mentally fit is us accepting the things that has happened in our life, accept our journey. My book is me accepting everything that has happened in my life so that it can no longer hold me prisoner. I'm free from it. Nobody can come and talk and say, them know this but them know that, but me don't write and tell everybody, right? It's there.
Open book. Open book.
Definitely.
Boy,
so.
that was Stacey Speaks just now, That wasn't Stacey Williams,
It's now gone a third year.
Third year. Boy, it was indeed a pleasure. I mean, we could have sat down here and we could have spoken from morning to night. We know how when our conversation starts, how it can be, man. Trust me,
Definitely.
but this was really, really wonderful. And I know somebody, they really got some message from this.
I hope so.
Because you dropped a lot of nuggets,
I hope so.
I look at your page and I see where a lot of people support you,
Yes. The support has been real and I'm very, very, very thankful and grateful for that, because sometimes you try to do something and but they're going to support you, because it's like people look at it to say that, look, I'm going to support her, probably she's going to reach yes and she's going to reach yes, and them feel as though by supporting you, it might mean that you're going to succeed and have certain successes that they don't want to see, so they prefer not to. But, my constant belief is that who is to support you will support you. And we just have to keep our thoughts positive. Don't focus on the negative. Just keep our thoughts positive. And, and I am somebody that is always supportive of people too. So I think that actually works.
I love that. I love that.
So it works both ways.
Yes, and that's me.
Yeah.
And so when we're like that, we end up see where God just overflow blessings in our lives
definitely.
more. So
Definitely.
On that note, we just want to say continue to focus on the positives and throw away the negatives. Because in the end, with every situation that you face in life, you'll always have something combating the good. But always remain steadfast and don't let the negatives, don't let the noise around you, as Stacey said, come into the way of having you to progress in life. It was indeed a pleasure being here, sitting beside you, you know what I mean? Yes, man, it was really a wonderful time.
And thanks for having me.
It's a pleasure of mine, So, family, remember, come back again next week where we look again at another episode on Joby Mr. Royalty, Crazy Faith, wonderful episode of series where I'm going to be talking about right now you heard about this teenage pregnancy. We have another one, a hot topic to come next week. So look out for that. Thank you again, Stacey. Get the book. Alright, so the link in the description for all her socials, so you can be able to go there and you can make a purchase. Call her, link her up. Family, once more from me to you, this is a place where you come to stay, where lives are being changed and impacted each and every day. See you next time.